finish it.
Damn it, Powder!
Once upon a time, in the vibrant world of animated storytelling, a remarkable series named ARCANE burst onto the scene in 2021, capturing the hearts of viewers everywhere. This 9-episode marvel quickly established itself as a benchmark for all animated shows to follow. Set against the rich backdrop of the League of Legends universe, ARCANE enchanted fans with its masterful blend of narrative, stunning visuals, and breathtaking cinematography. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. I found myself deeply connected to the characters, especially Vi and her chaotic counterpart, Jinx, whose journeys resonated with me like no other animated figures before. The series was a whirlwind of unexpected twists and turns, making it a delightful challenge to keep track of every shocking moment. As we eagerly anticipate the arrival of ARCANE Season 2, let's take a moment to revisit the highlights of Season 1, ensuring that everyone is ready to dive back into this captivating world when the new episodes arrive. Welcome to the playground sisters Powder and Vi stumble upon their parents' lifeless bodies amidst the chaos and debris of a fierce battle on a bridge. They are taken in by Vander, the leader of a failed rebellion who raises them as his own. Fast forward several years, Vi and Powder team up with their adopted brothers, Milo and Clagger, to pull off a heist in a luxurious Piltover penthouse. During the heist, Powder snatches a collection of magical crystals, but accidentally breaks one, triggering a massive explosion that devastates a significant part of the building. As they make their way back to the Undercity, the siblings run into Deckard and his gang. Although the Kazli manage to defeat them in a brawl, Powder is pursued and loses the stolen goods. Vander, now a respected figure in Zaun, reprimands the children for their reckless actions and tries to mend fences with Grayson, the sheriff of the enforcers, and her aide, Marcus. Vi confronts Milo for labeling Powder a Jinx and comforts her sister, promising that things will improve. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Undercity, crime lord Silco interrogates Deckard and experiments with a new mutagen called Shimmer on a rat, alongside Singed, a scientist from Zaun. Some mysteries are better left unsolved. The crystals that were taken by Powder are revealed to be the property of Jace Tallis, a student at the Piltover Academy. The ruling council of Piltover summons him to testify regarding his use of illicit equipment in unauthorized experiments. Having been saved by arcane magic in his youth, Jace is convinced that it could serve as a new resource for the advancement of Piltover. However, upon confessing the magical nature of his experiments, he is expelled from the academy, and a directive is issued for the destruction of his research. On the brink of despair, his convictions are revitalized when Victor, the physically challenged assistant to Professor Heimerdinger, offers him assistance. In Zaun, Marcus exerts pressure on Vander to disclose the actual perpetrators of the theft, while the residents of Zaun urge him to resist the encroachment of the enforcers. He opts to prioritize the safety of his family and maintain a neutral stance, which leaves some questioning his capability as a leader. Vi resolves to surrender herself. Concurrently, Silco manipulates Deckard into ingesting a vial of Shimmer. The base violence necessary for Change Vander prevents Vi from surrendering, offering himself to Grayson in her place. However, Silco intervenes. Capturing Vander after a heavily mutated Deckard eliminates Grayson and her men, leaving only Marcus alive. Vi, Milo, and Clagger set out to rescue Vander, leaving Powder behind. Meanwhile, in Piltover, Jace and Victor collaborate discreetly with the crystals under the guidance of Counselor Mel Medarda to develop Hextech, a groundbreaking arcane technology. It is disclosed that Vander had previously betrayed Silco in an attempt to drown him. In the Undercity, the siblings locate Vander but are confronted by Silco. Vi battles Silco's henchmen but suffers severe injuries at the hands of Deckard. In her effort to rescue Vi, Powder inadvertently triggers an explosion with the stolen crystals, resulting in the deaths of Clagger and Milo. Wounded by Silco, Vander consumes Shimmer, defeats Deckard, and saves Vi before succumbing to his injuries. Overcome with sorrow, Vi strikes Powder, labeling her a Jinx, and departs. As Silco approaches Powder, Vi tries to return to her but is ambushed and captured by Marcus. Feeling abandoned by Vi, Powder collapses in Silco's embrace. He comforts her, stating, "We'll show them all." Happy Progress Day. Years later, Piltover thrives due to Jace's advancements in Hextech technology and commemorates its 200th anniversary with a celebration known as Progress Day. Jace intends to unveil his and Victor's latest gemstone device during the festivities. However, he ultimately refrains from doing so after receiving a cautionary warning from Heimerdinger regarding its possible hazards. Meanwhile, Powder, now a teenager who adopts the name Jinx, is employed by Silco, whom she regards as a father figure. She assists him in smuggling materials, primarily shimmer, into Piltover. A mission takes a turn for the worse when the Firelights, a gang from the Undercity, intervene. During the confrontation, Jinx mistakenly identifies a Firelight as Vi, leading to a violent emotional breakdown. Caitlyn, an enforcer and childhood friend of Jace, investigates the incident. In an effort to mend her tarnished standing with Silco, Jinx steals Jace's gemstone, triggering an explosion that results in the deaths of 6 enforcers. In response, Jace is appointed to a seat on the Piltover Council to safeguard the populace from the repercussions of the stolen gemstone. Seeking further information, Caitlyn visits Stillwater Prison, where she encounters an adult VI who has been incarcerated there by Marcus.
Where's my sister? Where's he keeping her?
Everybody wants to be my enemy. Caitlyn utilizes forged documents to secure Vi's release from prison, leveraging her knowledge of the Undercity, and they collaborate to locate Silco. Concurrently, it is disclosed that Marcus has ascended to the position of sheriff with Silco's assistance. In return, Marcus permits the smuggling of shimmer and attributes the Progress Day bombing and robbery to the Firelights. Jinx, however, is reluctant to engage with the new Hextech gemstones due to the trauma associated with the device that caused her family's demise. In an effort to persuade her, Silco takes her to the river where Vander attempted to drown him, attempting to facilitate a baptism that would help Powder embrace her new identity as Jinx. In Piltover, Counselor Medarda embarks on a romantic relationship with Jace, aiding him in navigating the intricate political landscape he now faces as a counselor. Meanwhile, Victor's condition deteriorates, intensifying his desperation to discover a cure through Hextech technology. Vi successfully tracks down Silco's second-in-command, Sevika, who discloses Jinx's connection to Silco, a revelation that enables Sevika to stab her. However, Sevika is subsequently injured by a gunshot from Caitlyn, allowing Vi and Caitlyn to escape. In the meantime, Jinx successfully resolves the Hextech issue and constructs a machine akin to Jace's to harness its capabilities. Sevika returns to Silco to inform him of Vi's return. When these walls come tumbling down, following Victor's collapse in the laboratory due to his illness, he and Jace commence their research on the Hex Core, an innovative Hextech device that interacts with organic matter and holds the promise of a cure. Heimerdinger, concerned about its potential dangers, advocates for its destruction, which leads Jace to maneuver for Heimerdinger's removal from the council. Victor seeks assistance from Singed, his former mentor, to refine the Hex Core. Meanwhile, Silco, having learned of Vi's return, instructs Marcus to eliminate her and Caitlyn before they can make their presence felt in Piltover. Marcus fabricates evidence implicating the Firelights in the recent attacks, prompting Jace to implement a blockade on the bridge to safeguard Piltover. Jinx interrogates Sevika and discovers Vi's resurgence. Vi and Caitlyn manage to find refuge in a safe house located in the depths of Zon, allowing Vi to recuperate from her confrontation with Sevika. However, Silco tracks them down after bribing local addicts with shimmer. After their escape, the duo notices the blue smoke from a flare Vi had given Jinx prior to their ill-fated attempt to rescue Vander years earlier, leading to a reunion between the sisters. Nonetheless, Caitlyn's presence stirs Jinx's suspicions. The Firelights then intervene, seizing the gemstone and abducting Caitlyn and Vi, leaving Jinx behind to scream in anguish.
I didn't lose her. They took her.
The boy savior. The leader of the Firelights is none other than Echo, a childhood friend of Vi and Powder, who has transformed into a tough and seasoned warrior. Following Vander's death, Silco seized control of the Undercity, exploiting the population's reliance on shimmer. The Firelights have been at the forefront of efforts to resist him and help those struggling with addiction. Echo tries to convince Vi that Powder is lost, and only Jinx remains, a truth Vi is unwilling to face. Meanwhile, Singed is supplying Victor with a new version of Shimmer. Tensions rise between the two cities as Jace tightens his blockades. Victor chooses to keep his use of Shimmer a secret from Jace, especially after Jace makes a disparaging remark about Victor's roots in the Undercity. Caitlin persuades Echo to return the gemstone to Piltover, but Vi decides to part ways with them in search of Jinx. At the blockade, Marcus confronts Echo and Caitlin, shooting Echo and preparing to eliminate Caitlin. Witnessing this, Vi rushes back to assist her. Fueled by jealousy towards Caitlin, Jinx unleashes robotic insects on the bridge, resulting in the deaths of Marcus and his men. As Vi and the injured Caitlin make their escape to Piltover, Echo and Jinx engage in a fierce battle. Although Echo gains the upper hand, he hesitates to finish Jinx off, giving her the opportunity to set off a grenade nearby.
I'm so sorry, Powder. Your sister is Jinx.
Oil and Water Silco discovers the gravely injured Jinx in the chaos following the explosion and realizes she has successfully reclaimed the gemstone. He rushes her to Singed for medical attention. As Jinx undergoes treatment, she experiences hallucinations, believing that Vi and Caitlin are the ones causing her suffering. Singed administers Shimmer, which alters her eyes to a striking violet. Meanwhile, Mel's mother arrives in Piltover after the assassination of Mel's brother, seeking to prepare her daughter for the impending conflict with Zahn. In Zahn, Heimerdinger meets Echo, who has sustained a leg injury while escaping from one of Jinx's grenades. At the same time, Victor manages to heal his body using the Hex Core, allowing him to run for the first time. However, his further experiments lead to the tragic death of his childhood friend and assistant, Sky. After failing to persuade the Council to take action against Silco, Vi decides to leave Caitlin behind and teams up with Jace to dismantle Silco's Shimmer production facilities. Equipped with Hextech weaponry, they confront and defeat a group of soldiers enhanced by Shimmer, but Jace inadvertently kills a child worker in the process. Upon returning home, Caitlin is captured by Jinx.
You are, I know! You remember! Picture Milo!
The monster you created. The tragic death of the child prompts Jace to confront the harsh realities of urban conflict. In a bid for peace, he negotiates with Silco, proposing Zahn's autonomy in return for Jinx. Meanwhile, Echo discloses his secret location to Heimerdinger. Overwhelmed by guilt from Sky's death, Victor urges Jace to eliminate the Hex Core. Silco, torn between his loyalty to Zahn and his bond with Jinx, is overheard by her as he grapples with his choices. After a fierce battle with Sevica, Vi is captured by Jinx. Together with Silco and Caitlin, they awaken bound in the warehouse where Vander met his end. Jinx hands Vi a gun, forcing her to make a choice between Caitlin and herself. Vi stands firm, invoking their shared past, which triggers a painful episode for Jinx. In the chaos, Silco manages to break free and fires at Vi, but misses, only to be shot by Jinx. As he dies, Silco reaffirms his love for her, leaving Jinx heartbroken. In her grief, she embraces her new identity and recognizes the rift between her and Vi. Jinx then transforms a gemstone into a rocket launcher and targets the Piltover Council as they approve Jace's plan for Zahn's independence, leaving the outcome uncertain. So this was for today's folks. See you in our next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
I never would have given you to them.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.